व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय ब्रह्म भगवान् पुरुषोत्तमः जनो जानन्निदं सत्यं मुच्यते भवबन्धनात्. With prostrations at the divine feet of Bhagavan Swaminarayan, my Guru Hari, Param Pujya Pramukh Swami Maharaj, and my Pragat Guru Hari, Param Pujya Mahant Swami Maharaj, my heartiest Namaskar, Jai Swaminarayan, and a very good morning to all the Rotarians and the presents, the delegates in this session today. Nice to be with all of you today on a fine Sunday morning and on the special invitation of Shri Vijay Bhai. We all are fortunate to meet each other today. And the topic shared with me, enlighten your mind so that you energize your life. And this should be the principal motto of life, because we live in this 20th century and the 21st century. That these are the times of fancier houses but broken homes. These are the times of fancier houses but broken homes. These are the times of double incomes and more divorces. These are the times of high-rise buildings but low-rise characters. These are the times of broader highways but narrow viewpoints. These are the times where man has gone all the way to the moon and has come back, but he finds it difficult to cross the road and meet the new neighbor. These are the times of certain steep profits and businesses, but shallow relationships. In short, it has been summed up as these are the times where we have much to show in the show window and nothing in the stock room. मतलब दिखाने के लिए हमारे पास बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, लेकिन मन में शुभ भावनाएं, बुद्धि में पवित्र विचार वो कम होते जा रहे हैं. And that is why you would be surprised to know that more than 30,000 scientists all over the world are working 12, 15 and 18 hours a day in their laboratories to make weapons of mass destruction, to make missiles, to make bombs. 30,000 scientists. The people who make bombs and missiles and weapons of mass destruction are not illiterate people. They are graduates from universities, and some of them, some of the finest institutions in the world. So they had the best of knowledge from the best of institute, but they did not enlighten their mind so as to energize human life. They had evil in their mind. Imagine if these 30,000 scientists that had worked together during the corona times, they could have relieved us much earlier. But they did not. But they did not. And they can't. And they never will. Because their mind is not enlightened. Their mind is full of evil. How well we can kill humans quickly is the principal motto of their work. 30,000 scientists. So it is a must. It is a necessity that every human being enlightens his mind so as to become more human, so as to become more moral, so as to become more spiritual. That enlightenment is needed. Every human being. On a fine Sunday morning like this, a gentleman was reading a newspaper and he must have got interested in a couple of stories on that day. And his little 7-8-year-old boy said, "Dad, you promised me a bat and you did not fetch one for me. The whole week passed like this." And Dad said, "My son, I'm sorry. Tomorrow, Monday morning, the first job I'm doing is getting you a cricket bat." He said, "Dad, you said this last Sunday as well." Dad said, I'm sorry. And still the little boy was harassing his dad, and now this gentleman was interested in a couple of stories in the newspaper on that Sunday morning and had a cup of coffee beside him, so he was just relaxing. So he thought that how can I engage this little boy so that he doesn't harass me. He looked around, saw a piece of paper A4 size on which a world map was printed. So he got an idea. He picked up that and showed it to the little boy. See, this is a world map. Now the 8-year-old boy, he hasn't studied geography. He has never seen a world map. He said, fine, Dad, okay. If you say it's a world map, okay, it's a world map. See, this is India. You look carefully. Now I'm going to tear it into small pieces, shuffle it, and give it to you. You are supposed to get me back the whole world map using a sellotip. And if you get it back, I will give you a bat right away. And the child, because he had boasted in front of his friends that today afternoon we have a cricket match and I'm going to play this match with my own bat. And for an 8-year-old boy to have his own cricket bat in a match is a credit, and it's a pride. So he jumped upon this challenge. His dad showed him, see, this is India, this is China, this is Russia, this is Ukraine, at least for this moment. This is England, this is Europe, this is Africa, this is North America, this is Latin America. And see, now I'm tearing it into small pieces and telling so. He did it, shuffled it, and gave it to the little boy. And the dad was confident that he is now going to come back with this job done. And the condition was that he is not going to take anybody's help in the house from the family members. To his surprise, the little boy came back within 10 minutes. Dad, job done. Dad was surprised, let me see. And he saw it, and the whole world map was perfectly arranged. Now, A4 size paper into 16 small pieces, shuffled well and given, and well arranged by an 8-year-old boy within 10 minutes. It's very surprising, isn't it? And the dad said, how did you do it? Even when I'm seeing it, I just could not believe my eyes. How are you doing it? And the little boy said, Dad, it was very simple, see? And the little boy took the paper from his dad's hand and turned it around and said, Dad, behind this was a picture of a man standing. I adjusted the picture of the man and the world got adjusted on the other side. Behind the world map was a picture of a man standing. I turned everything around, adjusted the man, because an 8-year-old boy can do that. And the world on the other side got adjusted automatically. I did not go to adjust the world. Don't go to adjust the world. Adjust yourself and your world will get adjusted. This is called enlightening your mind. From the complaining mode, from the criticizing mode, come to contributing mode. And you will start enlightening your mind. You adjust yourself well and the world will get adjusted. It is as simple as that. Otherwise, 1.5 lakh people leave this earth every day in 24 hours. 24 hours is 86,200 seconds. So every 2 seconds, 3 people leave this earth. We started this talk, it is almost like 10 minutes. That is 600 seconds. That is 900 people left this earth. If for some reason God decides to keep the whole focus for the next 7 days on Mumbai, what I mean to say is, we have a very short life, 70, 80 years of life. 5-10 plus minus with the grace of God. And as Warren Buffett puts it very rightly, that we feel that we are human beings on a short spiritual journey. No, we are actually spiritual beings on a very short human journey. Believing this is again the start of the thought process of enlightening your mind. Now let us talk practical. What is enlightening your mind? What does it actually mean? What is the process? The first important aspect is, just because of certain short-sightedness, we believe more in IQ, perhaps a bit more in EQ, but very less of us has a perfect knowledge of SQ. IQ is intelligent quotient, EQ is emotional quotient, and SQ is spiritual quotient. Until the 90s, it was believed that people with high IQ can perform, can excel, can contribute. After the 90s, it was seen in the markets, and a well-surveyed one, that people with lesser IQ but more on EQ, emotional quotient, that is emotional intelligence. That means he understands his own feelings, he understands the feelings of the other person. They rule over IQs because the Silicon Valley started, and there the IT people going from India, they had the best of salaries, today ranging from 40,000 USD to maybe 1.5 to $100,000. But you know actually who is paying them? They are just ordinary BCom graduates, but these white Americans are smart managers. They are very smart managers. So they know how to hire them and how to get work done from them. So people with high EQ started recruiting people with higher IQ. After the turn of the millennium, around 2005, 2006, it was found that people with high spiritual intelligence. Now when it comes to spiritual, don't feel like it's like scriptures and temples and religious places and saints. Don't get straight away to that picture. Spiritual intelligence is the ultimate intelligence. Because they found that people with spiritual intelligence can, now I'm defining spiritual intelligence, they can go beyond certain human preconditions of mind. People with spiritual intelligence can go beyond certain human preconditions of mind. Go beyond certain decided upon habits of life and create a situation which can be an inspiration, which can be a source of motivation to people and generations to come. So a wonderful book has been written. I read this during the Corona times. The title of the book is Spiritual Intelligence, the Ultimate Intelligence, by Dr. Ian Marshall, co-authored by Dr. Dana Zohar. Both of them are wonderfully. They surveyed like more than 3,000 successful people, 3,000 less successful people, 3,000 failures, and 3,000 utter failures of life. And they come to a conclusion that these 8 qualities make you a spiritually intelligent person. And you can be successful. And that is called enlightening of the mind. Vice versa. If you possess these 8 qualities, you are a spiritually intelligent person. I would not go into the details of all these 8 qualities, but just list it out for you. The 8 qualities that make a person spiritually intelligent. First is flexibility. The new Harvard University definition of intelligence, after about 8 years of research and survey, is, in one line, flexibility to change is intelligence. How well you can see the change coming. Step 2, how well you can adjust yourself to the new change. That is, accept it. Step 3, how well you can flow with the new change makes you intelligent. Flexibility to change is intelligence. Second quality, extreme self-awareness. What am I here for? What am I doing? What I am talking or saying? How am I expressing myself? How am I keeping my attitudes? What are my facial expressions and body language in the midst of people? Am I supposed to speak in this gathering or not? Am I supposed to present my opinion or not? And if at all I am supposed to, in which words I must? All this self-awareness, a person never makes a private or a public mistake in life. He is a spiritually intelligent person. And they have found these qualities in high-ranking corporates as well, in high-ranking social workers as well, in high-ranking public life living people as well. He never makes a private or a public mistake. Third quality of spiritual intelligent person is an ability to face and use the suffering of life. We face it. We do face the sufferings of life. Knowingly, unknowingly, wanting or not wanting, but still we face. But spiritually intelligent person can use the suffering of life. The top person in our country has this knack. Anything thrown at him, he can use it and convert it into a giant vote bank. Yeah, it is a knack. It is a spiritual intelligence that you don't go around fighting with people. You don't go around commenting on the comments. You have your path charted out. And you always use the stones thrown at you to make it stepping steps to grow more. He's a spiritual intelligent person. So the third quality in enlightening your mind is an ability to face and use the suffering of life. Fourth quality, the authors write, an ability to be inspired by a vision. You see something, you hear something, you read something, and you get inspired that what can I do or how can I use it for the betterment of my mission, for my work, for my life. And that is the real vision foundation. Doctor, an ability of a person to be inspired by a vision. A couple of years back, in a suburb in Mumbai, that is in Malad, a second-year engineering student was standing at the bus stand awaiting for bus. At that time, he saw a young lady. She must be around like 30 to 34. She was in a hurry. On her scooty, a small scooter, she came at the bus stop to drop her little child. The child must be like 4 or 5 years old. Because the school bus picking up that small child had the same stop. And it so happened that she just reached the place and the school bus came in. So she was like in a hurry, parked her scooter, picked up her little child and ran towards the bus, handed this little child to the conductor and said, "Beta, dhyan rakhna, beta, dekhna, and take your seat, this, that." She was like a bit worried. Class mein baithna theek se, dhyan se sunna teacher ko, last minute advices when the boy had seated on his seat just beside the window. And she, after the bus started, had a sigh of relief. चलो आज पहुंच गए टाइम पे, वरना स्कूल बस चली जाती तो स्कूल तक जाना पड़ता. A sigh of relief. This young second-year engineering student saw this. Now, if we were there, what were the kind of thoughts that could enter our mind? प्रथम विचार ये आता है, जल्दी आ जाना चाहिए ना, ठीक टाइम पे आ जाना चाहिए ना. लेकिन we all know, and you all are experienced people when it comes to this, that to get the little children ready for school in the morning is a task. This boy, see, inspired by vision, can I help the situation? Young moms all over the country and all over the world must be facing these hardships in the morning when they have young kids. Can I help the situation? This question arises in an enlightened mind, not in an ordinary mind. Ordinary mind, what does it say? She must come on time. If she is getting late, she must take care of herself. As simple as that. An enlightened mind says, how can I help the situation? Can I help the situation? And he designed a software wherein the registered mobile number gets a message that the school bus is just now 10 minutes away. Second message, now just 5 minutes away from your stop. Second message, when the boy gets into the bus, the sensor is cut and the message, your boy has entered the bus. When he or she, the little girl, the little boy sits, again the registered mobile gets a message that your child has sat in the school bus. The child enters the classroom and a sensor is cut, and again the message, the child has entered the classroom. If the child raises the hand to answer a question posed by the teacher, again the sensor is cut and the message is there, your child has raised the hand in the class to answer. So this is for the young kids. For the elders it is like infringement upon privacy. So it is for the extremely small kids, like toddlers and first, second, third standard, so that the parents back home are relieved and they are comforted. A giant IT company in Silicon Valley got to know about this software. He introduced in a couple of schools in Mumbai, a couple of schools in Bangalore, was very successful. Now he was just an engineering student. He did not have his company or network or system. So the Silicon Valley company decided to pick up that software. And you would be surprised to know that the deal was $70 million. $70 million the Silicon Valley paid to this second-year engineering student for designing this software. This is the idea of a spiritually intelligent person, not a normal mind. An enlightened mind. You see a situation and an enlightened mind says, how can I help the situation? How can I better the situation? This is an enlightened mind. The fifth quality of a spiritually intelligent person or an enlightened mind is an ability to see connection between diverse things. 180-degree diagonally opposite things, yet an enlightened man can see a connection between the two. The sixth quality is an ability to cause as little harm as possible. This is a very important quality. Sometimes we don't cause harm to anybody physically because we are enlightened citizens. Enlightened mind is a different and a higher level from an enlightened citizen. Because we believe in the law and order, we believe in humanity, so sometimes we don't hurt anybody physically, but not hurting anybody mentally and emotionally also is an ability to cause as little harm as possible. This is again an enlightened mind, a spiritually intelligent person. Our Guru Pramukh Swami Maharaj, whose centenary celebrations we are celebrating this year, it will be a 30-day festival in Ahmedabad on 600 acres of land. On the SG highway, more than 2,000 volunteers, 100 saints are working at the moment when I'm talking to you this Sunday morning on the site. From 15th of December this year, 2022 to 13th of January 2023, we will have 6 huge domes. Each dome can sit 2,000 people in the auditorium sitting. For exhibitions, a dome will house an exhibition on family values, then anti-addiction drive, then Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, then the life and works of Pramukh Swami Maharaj. Because Pramukh Swami Maharaj in his lifetime, now with certain statistics, you would be surprised and amazed what Pramukh Swami Maharaj did upon this earth. In a span of 45 years from 1971 to 2016, in a span of 45 years, he contributed 1,300 institutes of social service upon this planet. No person in the world, in this population of 7 billion today, has constructed, successfully administered, and today in the service of society, 1,300 charity hospitals, hostels, schools, colleges, community centers, sanskar kendras, hari mandirs, and akshardham. How many of you have been to a Swaminarayan Akshardham at Delhi or Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar? Just raise your hands. All of you. Pramukh Swami Maharaj was the creator of Akshardham. 1,300 hospitals, hostels, schools and colleges. I was just talking 2 days back at Naradko, the young, that is the next generation of the builders of Mumbai. Just 2 days back at Taj Lands End in Bandra. I asked them a very simple question. Do you know any developer of or builder of Mumbai or any part of India? Forget 1,300 projects on 1,300 lands. Even if he has just put his foot on 1,300 barren lands with an intention that let me check out if something comes out of this, and if I get this land, I need to do something on this. With this intention also, if somebody has put his foot on 1,300 lands, just raise your hands. And nobody did. Pramukh Swami Maharaj traveled to 18,000 villages, towns and cities in 60 countries of the world. Not for sightseeing. He visited the US 22 times. Never visited the studios, never visited Hollywood, never visited Disneyland, nothing. He was always there to uplift humanity in all walks of life. Pramukh Swami Maharaj read and answered 7.5 lakh letters in his lifetime at an unbelievable average of reading and answering 70 letters a day without a Sunday for 45 years. Imagine you working in the corporate world tomorrow Monday morning when you go to office and open your office mailbox and you have 25 mails to answer before lunchtime in the first half. What happens to you? What happens to you? Pramukh Swami Maharaj answered 70 letters a day, and all responsible answering, not just blessings. All important issues of personal life, family life, social life, professional life, people used to write to him. And expecting, and Pramukh Swami Maharaj also writing a clear-cut answer, yes or no about it, whether to go for it or not. Responsible answering. So 7.5 lakh letters, it is again a Guinness Book of World Records. Let me tell you in between, Pramukh Swami Maharaj's name is for 6 times in the Guinness Book of World Records. He could appear another 10 times, he was never interested. He initiated 1,200 saints like us into sainthood. Out of them, 750 of them are graduates, postgraduates, chartered accountants, doctors and engineers. Out of them, 150 of them are born American and British citizens. Out of them, more than 50 have studied from Stanford, from Harvard, from Carnegie Mellon, from Yale, from Keelong. We have saints at the age of 26 and 27 who have worked with Microsoft, with Google, with NASA, and left aside $200,000 of salary and full time in the service of society and God here. ये तो मैंने आपको इसलिए कहा कि आपको ये ना लगे कि कुछ चला नहीं होगा, जमा नहीं होगा, ठीक नहीं चला होगा, इसलिए यहाँ के बैठ गया. लोग ज्यादातर जब संत को देखते हैं तो प्रथम ये विचार आ जाता है कई लोगों को, सभी को नहीं, कई लोगों को आ जाता है कि ये बेचारा का, पहले तो वो बेचारा बन जाता है, ये बेचारा का कुछ चला नहीं होगा, जमा नहीं होगा, ठीक पढ़ाई नहीं की होगी, घर से भगा दिया होगा, इसलिए यहाँ के संत होके बैठ गया. ऐसा नहीं है. BAPS is a different organization. I come from BAPS, which is one of the largest NGOs of the world. We have got a permanent status in the United Nations as an NGO. Every Friday our representative sits in New York in the UN. So this is a different organization. यहाँ ऐसे जो भाग गए, चले नहीं, ठीक जमा नहीं, संसार में से आगे, ऐसा नहीं है. We have a 7-year probation period before he gets saffron. And a full permission form signed by both the parents. None of you have in your institutes or corporates set up a 7-year probation period. So he's fully scrutinized. And thereafter he is launched into saffron. And then into activities anywhere in the world that our centers are. Such 1,200 saints Pramukh Swami Maharaj initiated. 55,000 volunteer force. In the festival that we are celebrating in December and January, we have got 40,000 registered for 1 month, 2 months, and 3 months. Absolute full day selfless service. And for that, the developers and builders of Ahmedabad has very happily, just in a half an hour meeting, considered us 8,500 2 BHK and 3 BHK apartments for these 2 months for our volunteers to stay. Pramukh Swami Maharaj did lofty work upon this earth, unbelievable, for his 1,300 institutions that he set up. You all might be associated with some NGO, some social service, so you know what happens to run one institute or one activity in an NGO, isn't it? What is 1,300? And so Guinness Book of World Records writes for Pramukh Swami Maharaj that he is the master builder of the 20th century. And you saw 110 acres of Akshardham in Delhi. 110 acres of Akshardham in Delhi. Just 2 days back, I was with the doyen of the Builders and Developers Association of Mumbai, Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani. He personally interviewed me in the session, and after that we were talking. I said, Niranjan bhai, if somebody gives you like 110 acres of land on the banks of Yamuna in Delhi, what would you do with it? Swami, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. Pramukh Swami Maharaj started the project at the age of 80 in the year 2000. Finished it in 5 years at the age of 85. 2 years hence, at the age of 87, he starts a project on 265 acres of land in America, Akshardham, which our Guru Hari Mohan Swami Maharaj will inaugurate 2 years hence in the August of 2024. And knowing the activities, the Sheikh of Abu Dhabi, His Royal Highness Sheikh Zayed, gifted us, BAPS, 27 acres of land on Dubai-Abu Dhabi Expressway, the Sheikh Zayed Expressway. And a beautiful Akshardham is coming up there, foundation level come up. Such Akshardham is coming up at Johannesburg in South Africa, at Sydney in Australia. So we are a worldwide organization. Pramukh Swami Maharaj created this institute single-handedly. He was a one-man organization. एक व्यक्ति संस्था थे. उनके जीवन में ये क्वालिटीज हमने बहुत नजदीक से देखी है. हम जो क्वालिटी की बात कर रहे हैं, to cause as little harm as possible. इतनी बड़ी संस्था के undisputed president. He was the president of BAPS for 65 years. From 21st May 1950 to 13th August 2016. 65 years he was the undisputed president. Unchallenged. No elections. No opposition. He was once at a tree plantation program. He took the sapling in his hand, sat on at that very place, and was just about to put the sapling with a couple of politicians, MLAs, MPs around him, the press, photography, everything around him. Pramukh Swami noticed a small ant there. He did not put the sapling. He, by the other hand, put his index finger in front of the ant. And just in traditional Gujarati, he said, Kidi ben mari jaso hamda, bar avtaro. And he picked up that ant on his index finger and put it on the ground and then put the sapling there. Cause as little harm as possible. When the cameras are flashing in front of you in the presence of dignitaries and you are the chief guest, to notice an ant at that time and take care of it requires spiritual intelligence to cause as little harm as possible. And the attendant saints who attend Pramukh Swami has seen and they have experienced that at night time when he wants to see the clock, see the alarm clock, he would put the whole shit on his body and inside it with a battery and a torch he would see it, just because the light should not disturb the else sleeping in the room. Cause as little harm as possible. This has been the lifestyle of great personalities. The seventh quality of a spiritually intelligent person or an enlightened mind is an ability to probe and ask fundamental questions. And the eighth quality is an ability to work against a convention. एक मान्यता के विरुद्ध जाके भी काम करके दिखाना. So these are the 8 qualities of an enlightened mind. We need to check, we need to introspect, and we need to raise our bar to have these qualities more in our lives. Again, just listing it out quickly, the 8 qualities of an enlightened mind. First, flexibility. Second, self-awareness. Third, an ability to face and use the suffering of life. Fourth, an ability to be inspired by vision. Fifth, an ability to see connection between diverse things. Sixth, an ability to cause as little harm as possible. Seventh, an ability to ask and probe the fundamental questions of life. And eighth, an ability to work against a convention. These are the 8 qualities of an enlightened mind. When we introspect, when we focus, when we keep our thought process and readings for this, we can be an enlightened mind. Otherwise, we'll be among the 1.5 lakh people who leave this earth every day. When I ask a simple question to all of you today, all of you would say yes. I want to ask that do we all want to leave this planet somewhat making it better than how we found it? Yes or no? If yes, just raise your hands. Thank you. We all want to, before we leave this planet, make some small positive improvement somewhere, in some field, than how we found it. Isn't it? That just doesn't come without spiritual intelligence, without enlightening your mind. Because that makes you more human. That makes you more moral. That makes you more spiritual. And that is how you enlighten your mind, enlighten the society, and you are in a contributing mode. If you don't go for that, you go for only one thing, increasing your materialistic pleasures and materialistic possessions in life. And if you go only for that and nothing else, it is dog life, donkey life, and cat life. Nothing else. It is not a human life. Because money can buy you good houses, it does not have the power to convert that house into a home. Money does not have the power to convert a concrete house into a warm home, isn't it? Money can buy you good beds, but cannot guarantee you a good sleep. Michael Jackson was sleeping on a bed worth 94,000 US dollars. But after taking 10 sleeping pills, he could hardly sleep for a couple of hours. So money can buy you good beds, but cannot guarantee you good sleep. Money can buy you good medicines and a healthcare plan. It does not have the power to give you good health. Otherwise, why would Aditya Birla pass away at the age of 51 because of cancer? He had the best medicines, the best healthcare for him. So money can buy you good medicines and a good healthcare, cannot guarantee you good health. Money can buy you good food, but not good health. Isn't it? Along with that also, take it very wisely that money can buy you the best of branded clothes and jewelry, but cannot give you beauty and handsomeness. Even if you spend a lot of time in front of the mirror, it cannot give you. So money can buy you n number of things which can make you happy, from a car to a house to materialistic possessions. At the same time, there are n into n number, n raised to n number of things that money cannot buy, which actually you need to become more happy. Can money buy trust? Otherwise, what happened in the last 72 hours here shouldn't have happened. Money cannot buy trust. Money cannot buy sweetness in relationships, isn't it? Yes or no? Otherwise, there are every day 70 cases for divorces registered in Delhi, 70 to 80 in the family court in Bandra in Mumbai, and more than 100 in the twin city of Secunderabad and Hyderabad every day. And you would be surprised to know that of the 70-80 divorce cases registered in Bandra, in Mumbai, 5% of them are of people above the age of 60. अरे भाई साहब, 35 साल चले गए, 25 साल की उम्र में अगर शादी की है, 35 चले गए और 10-15 की बात है। वैसे भी 75 में एक विकेट तो गिरने ही वाली है, चला ले 10-15। And more surprisingly, like if you go into the reasons of it, they've analyzed this. Divorce lawyers have analyzed. See what happens when you don't have an enlightened mind, you don't energize your life. That is what we are talking about. Filing for divorce cases above the age of 60, what the hell did you do with your mind? You never enlighten your mind about human relationships, about life. अभी गॉड को भूल जाओ. At least you must enlighten your mind for a good human life, isn't it? You are 60, 70, 80 years upon this earth. Again, 5, 10 plus minus with the grace of God. They analyze that why people about the age of 60 file for divorces. One among the principal 5 reasons, you would be surprised. The speed of fan in bedroom. The temperature setting of AC in bedroom is one among the top 5 reasons for divorce in couples above the age of 60. I'm talking of the family court of Bandra in Mumbai, standing here in Mumbai. Both must practice. If somebody wants the fan on 1 and somebody wants in 5, both must practice for 3, isn't it? CMP. Common minimum program. They must go for CMP. You know the second reason for divorce among elderly couples? I'm quoting word to word as written in the filed cases. Inverted commas. Suddenly my spouse has lost the sense of dressing. Is the second reason, important one, for divorce among elderly people. So again, let me use the word. Now I have the authority to use it. That what the hell did you do with your mind? The human mind. You did not enlighten it. Enlightening your mind energizes your life. Life, out of all the readings, I have read more than 500 autobiographies and biographies. I've traveled to 30 countries, delivered more than 15,000 talks. Out of all my travels, reading and meeting people, I've designed a formula for a good human life, for an enlightened mind. The formula is TAAC formula, TAAC. T is tolerance. A is acceptance. Another A is apologies. And C is compromise. Everybody has to live with it. Raise your hand if you say yes. Sorry? Yeah, the TAAC formula, TAAC. T is tolerance. A is acceptance. Second A is apologies. And C is compromise. Everybody has to live with this formula. Even made for each other couples of the town, if they don't apply TAAC formula, there are divorces in made for each other couples as well. Yes or no? Tolerance, acceptance, apologies, and compromise is a way of life. For that, I teach the 40, 30, 20, 10 principle. Again, this principle I have designed of all my talks and readings. The 40, 30, 20, 10 principle. 40, 30, 20, 10 together is 100. What is that? Of all the works that you have decided in your life, and all the relationships that you have started in your life, spouse, neighbors, friends, working colleagues, social, or at your club, at your or NGO, of all the relations that you have started, and all the work that you have started, 40% of it will go your way. Enjoy it. The way you have decided to make it happen, it will happen. That's God's grace on every human being. 30% of all the work that you have decided and 30% of all the relationships that you have started, it will need extra maintenance to keep going. You can, at this very moment when I'm talking, start introspecting so far of your life. Of all the work and the relationships that you have started, 30% will need extra maintenance, extra inputs, just to keep it running and make it happen. So that is 40 plus 30 is 70%. Now listen carefully. Here comes the start of the enlightened mind to live a good human life. Because 20% of all the work that you have decided in your life and 20% of all the relationships that you have started in your life are bound to get spoiled. Accept it. Now introspect. 20% are bound to get spoiled. काम बिगड़ेगा और relationships पूरे हो जाएंगे. Am I right or wrong? This is a fact. When we don't accept this, we lose our human life and thus human values. An enlightened mind accepts this. So he energizes his life by not going into depressions and setbacks. Accept it, that this happens. And this is a formula for 7 billion population upon this earth. It is a part of everybody's life. 20% of all the work and relationships that you have started are bound to get spoiled. Accept it. So this brings it to 90. Last 10% of all the work that you have decided in your life are bound to bring you heavy losses. And 10% of all the relationships that you have started are bound to get converted into competition or enmity. जिगर जान मित्र जानी दुश्मन बन जाते हैं. हाँ या ना? जिगर जान मित्र जानी दुश्मन हो जाते हैं. That happens. So this is the principle of 40, 30, 20 and 10. Well acceptance of this principle stabilizes you. कभी कोई relationship बिगड़े तो give it 3 chances in a span of 6 months from your side. If it doesn't come back on the track, leave it, forget it, and most importantly, delete the number from the mobile. So that again and again when you scroll and see that name and number, you don't go into a stressful situation of mind. अपने आप से प्रयत्न कर लेना. 3 बार प्रयत्न करना. संबंध सुधारने के लिए, बिगड़े हुए संबंध को सुधारने के लिए 6 महीने तक हर 2 महीने एक प्रयत्न जरूर करना. That is the human part of you. That is an enlightened mind from your side that you kept aside ego to improve the relations. लेकिन फिर भी अगर न सुधरे तो tell a big bye, wish him or her a great life, turn your face around, and most importantly, delete the number from the mobile. I am giving you very practical solutions of life, of an enlightened mind. Very practical. So this makes you an enlightened mind. So tolerance, acceptance, apologies, and compromise. As simple as, if I ask you that anybody sitting in the auditorium can raise their hand and tell that so far in my life, everything in my home, in my family, in my relationships, and at my work has happened as per my choice. Anybody can raise their hand? The first one to say no is Nanak Ji himself. Perhaps the senior most person here. Dr. Kane says no, Dr. Kulin says no. So the elders, when they say no, you all definitely would say no. It is always an acceptance and compromise. Accept the people in your life. For that, I give a very practical solution. You might be having 500 and 1,000 and 1,500 and 2,000 names and numbers in your mobile. Select 25. Keep a good high-low or good relationship with all, but select 25. For this 25 people I want in my life anyhow. Even if they make a mistake, I will overlook it. It is for my happiness that I have selected this 25. So don't see the faults of theirs. This is an enlightened mind that energizes your life, because according to Harvard study, they had a survey in more than 110 countries, across 5 continents, across caste, creed, color, religion. And the question asked to 100,000 families was, what according to you is the greatest joy upon this earth? And more than 67% of the respondents, they said, according to us, enjoying great relationships, spending quality and quantity time with your near and dear ones, whom you love and respect, who loves and respects you, is the greatest joy upon this earth. This is a Harvard study. So if we want to, rather let me ask you, do we want to enjoy this greatest joy upon this earth? Of spending quality and quantity time with our near and dear ones, whom we love and respect and who loves and respects us. For that, select 25 from that 1500. 90% of your relationship time should be with those 25 and rest 10% with the rest 1475. Then you will enjoy relationships in life. And that 25, no faults with them. No ego with them. Nothing. Their 25 is you, one soul in 25 bodies. That is called acceptance in life. That is called compromise in life. Even if they do something wrong, you are not supposed to see their fault. Why? Because you have decided to keep him or her in your life. You have decided that I want that person in my life, from spouse to relations to relatives to maybe working colleague, maybe a neighbor, maybe a friend, whatever, those 25 people. Keeping those 25 in your life, lifetime, overlooking all their faults, is an enlightened mind to energize your life. Only an enlightened mind can do that. Otherwise, if we are given a question paper that I list 10 people, 25 people, 50 people from your mobile contact list and write a fault of theirs against their name, you would ask, only one or can I write more? Only one or can I write more? And we all can write more than one, isn't it? Choice is yours. But make a wise choice, so you stand a good chance for a great change in your life. This is called an enlightened mind, that you make a wise choice in life. Day in and day out, wise choices. Not just talented and intelligent choices. They are the primary steps. Ultimate step is to make a wise choice in life. That is an enlightened mind. So such enlightened minds, they energize their life and you live a wonderful and a great life. Because at the end of your life, at least you must be satisfied with your life, isn't it? You must be able to put your hand on your chest and tell yourself, yes, I lived my life. At least that should happen, isn't it? Yes or no? That should happen. And for that, this enlightenment is absolutely a must. The TEC formula and the 40-30-20-10 principle. You master that and you are an enlightened person upon this earth. It is as simple as that. I just finished in the last 5-7 minutes. What does an enlightened mind do practically? What we were talking about, thinking and accepting. What does he practically do? The first important aspect of practical doing of an enlightened mind is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is my family. Wherever I can contribute and help, I will. Wherever I can't, I will wish and pray. But I will always be in a contributing mode. Enlightened minds are givers, they are not takers. Enlightened minds are givers and they are not takers. And so they enjoy their life. Pramukh Swami Maharaj did not have a bank account. We in BAPS, none of us saints, we have bank accounts. We don't touch money. We don't keep money. I've been talking since 24 years in national, international seminars and conferences. I'm not charged. I'm not charging a single penny for my talks. Today also I'm not charged. Just lightly I'm telling you, I don't charge a single penny for my talks. Because my Guru Pramukh Swami Maharaj and Mahant Swami Maharaj has taught me to be in a contributing mode to the society 24/7, 365, 80. You got the formula which I said? 24/7, 365, 80. 80 means the 80 years of your life. Those who perform by talent and intelligence are in the newspapers, are in the books. And those who perform wisely by spiritual intelligence with an enlightened mind, they are on the pages of the hearts of people, inspiring generations and generations. We on our birthday, 1 week before that, we have to message people that I have a party on this day evening and you have to join. Right or wrong? And Pramukh Swami today is not physically present upon this earth. His 100th birthday celebrations and 40,000 youngsters, male and female, boys and girls, they have registered for physical service on the site for 1 month, 2 months. Pramukh Swami has not given a message to this 40,000. He lived an enlightened life, and so is an inspiration for generations to come. Because he lived his motto, in the joy of others lies our own. Contributing mode. In the joy of others lies our own. He used to say that make your character strong and try to infuse character values in the lives of people around you. Contributing mode. So that makes an enlightened mind. Practically, it is this. If you don't remember anything in the talk today, anything, take this one message with you. 24/7, 365, 80, I want to be in a contributing mode. I want to be a giver and not a taker. And this helps you, I'm into the last 2 minutes of my talk. This helps you more and more towards being the best human being, the best version of yourself. This is more achieved by your faith in God. Not that I'm a man of spirituality, that I'm talking you faith in God. I'm a man of science and I'm a man of spirituality both. I finished my engineering 30 years back. So I'm a man of both. I tell you that more than 50,000 research papers have been presented by men of science, that is scientists, in national international conferences, that how some element of spirituality, practically and physically done, like prayers, like chanting the holy name, like meditation, helps you physically, mentally and emotionally. University of Columbia, latest research just 1 year back, let me share with you. University of Columbia, they did a survey on a group of people, actually 2 groups of people for 30 years, and they came out with the survey conclusion paper just a year back. One group of people were such that they used to visit religious places once a week, once a month, or many of them every day. Second group of people were such they never visited any religious places. For 30 years, the University of Columbia studied their lifestyle, their natures, their way of living. After 30 years, they write in the conclusion paper. You can find this on the website of the University of Columbia. First thing, those people who were regular visitors at a religious place, they had 40% less chance of a heart ailment or a cardiac arrest than those not visiting. Isn't this beneficial in life? Second, those people who were regular visitors at religious places had 70% less chance of a domestic violence at home than those not visiting. Isn't this an enlightened mind? Isn't this a good human living? Third thing, those people who were regular visitors at religious places, their children were 25 to 35% better at academics than the children of people or families not visiting. Isn't this an enlightened mind and a good human living? Fourth, those people who were regular visitors at religious places had overall 70 to 75% better health conditions than those people not visiting. Isn't this a good human living? This is how you energize your life. So visiting a religious place regularly, every day or once a week or once a month, has impact on the academics of your children, has impact on your better health, has impact on your better heart, has impacts on your better relationships with your family members back home. That is, you are less on domestic violence. This all gives you a good human living. And it is ultimately the outcome and the fruit of an enlightened mind. And that enlightened mind is energizing your life. From the health point of view, it is energizing. From the academic point of view, it is energizing. From the relationship point, it is energizing. As simple. This three is heaven on earth, isn't it? But we have a different definition. Let me end with it. What is heaven on earth and what is hell on earth? We don't feel that such enlightened life, enlightened mind, and thus this living is an heaven on earth. What we feel heaven on earth is a combination of 5 things. And hell on earth is a combination of 5 things. Hell on earth is Indian salary. A combination of 5 things. Indian salary. Chinese house, because there people sometimes live in boat houses. They say German food, American car, and a British wife. If you get a combination of these 5, it is hell on earth. Indian salary, Chinese house, German food, American car, and a British wife. Because they say in Britain, the 3 W's they change anytime: weather, wine, and wife. In Britain, 3 W's they change anytime: weather, wine, and wife. So I probably feel, this is my assumption, that they started the search engine with www. It's just a lighter moment apart, and the reverse of it is heaven on earth. American salary, if you are paid in dollars, if you earn in dollars. American salary, a British house, nice cozy house. German car, Merc, Audi, a German car. Chinese food, an Indian wife. This is heaven on earth. If you have the combination of these 5, again to list down: American salary, British house, German car, Chinese food, and Indian wife. It is heaven on earth. We have these definitions. I don't go against it. I don't mind it. This is materialistic and worldly. An enlightened mind transcends about this. And that transcending is 2 things that I said: contributing mode and faith in God. My innermost prayers for all of you. Thank you very much for patiently listening to me. Thank you very much.
Swamiji, some interactive questions which we have received.
Fine.
Chintan will read them out.
Jai Swaminarayan to everyone. We have received a few questions, and still if you have any, you have this chits which you can give it to the volunteers, and we will direct the question to Swamiji. Swamiji, very interesting question has come up. Swamiji, you were practicing engineering. What made you change the life and get enlightened?
Well, if you look at the 100 top billionaires upon this earth, 70 or 75 of them are not in the field of working what they study. So what I mean to say is that academically you can be different, practicing you can be different. And sometimes above all this, if you go into the stock markets, you'll be achieving different. So first of all, fields can be any, but let me tell you very simply, what is academics? What is education? Education is that which remains with you when you have forgotten everything that has been taught to you. So a developed mind, the outcome of education is a developed mind, not just texts. 3 things I saw in the life of Pramukh Swami Maharaj. First, the purity of his personal life. Second, his selfless zeal for society. And third, his profound faith in God. These 3 things inspired me, and of course all of us. And so we are here. Thank you.
This question was from Rekha Solanki. The next question is from Jayashri Chaudhary. What if people misunderstand us, and how to control our anger, if you can?
If people misunderstand you, as I said, of applying the TAC formula, first tolerate a bit. Today the tolerance has gone down to level 0. One of the leading district magistrates of family court We asked him for an interview in one of our shivirs. Like more than 3,000 people were there in attendance in that shivir. And he had heard more than 30,000 family disputes in his court during his entire tenure. And given decisions in 30,000 family disputes. We asked him that what according to you, according to your experience, is the biggest reason for family disputes. Understanding की बात आई ना, तो पहले family पे बात करते हैं. Misunderstandings in between family members. Because a person that experienced 30,000 family disputes, he has heard the arguments of both the parties in his court, and he has given judgments on that. So he was the right person to be asked this, and he possesses the authority to answer it. He said that tolerance has gone down to level 0. Nobody wants to tolerate even the slightest of mishappening in and around him or her. But we don't introspect that sometimes with our casual speaking, casual behaviors, casual attitudes, casual facial expressions, casual body language, sometimes we hurt the feelings of other people also. We never know that. So first thing, we have to develop tolerance. When there is a misunderstanding, somebody misunderstands us.
Yes.
First, tolerate. Tolerate for a few days, tolerate for a few weeks. Give the other person chance to introspect that he is doing something wrong. Without that, just you roll up your sleeves and start fighting. Sometimes I give a very practical solution to the infightings in the family. Sometimes within the family, the shouting starts, erupts like an earthquake. Especially between the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. I was like thinking over this, like why such long names? You have short names, names? Uncle, dad, mom. Why this long name? Mother-in-law, daughter-in-law. Why these long names? After giving a deep thinking to that, I came to a conclusion that this relationship naturally has to go towards law. So it is daughter-in-law, mother-in-law. I'm just joking, a lighter moment. Then the second question arises in my mind. Second question is, a daughter becomes daughter-in-law, mother becomes mother-in-law, father becomes father-in-law, son becomes son-in-law, brother becomes brother-in-law, sister becomes sister-in-law. Wife never becomes wife-in-law. Why? She is the law. She is the law in the house. Just a lighter moment, what I mean to say when it comes to misunderstanding, first tolerate. Because he or she is either your family member or a friend. See, misunderstandings don't happen from unknown people. This question is from misunderstanding happening from a known person. More than that, from a close person. Isn't it? So first you have to give the person who has misunderstood you enough time and space to rethink about his understanding. After that period is over and the situations don't improve, sit, putting aside ego, sit with the person and say that I feel that there is a small dip in our relationship. Maybe there is some misunderstanding created. I, as a friend, genuinely ask you that if there is a misunderstanding, open out. Because relationships matter more than ego. This practical step by you towards the person who has misunderstood you tells about you that you value relationship more than your ego. That is again the TACT formula, acceptance and compromise. And I tell you, 90% of your relationship issues get solved by these two things. Again, both things in one word. Give time and space to the person who has misunderstood you by tolerating the initial days of misunderstanding. Second, when the situations don't improve, start an initiative. Be proactive from your side to solve the issue. And if after this doesn't happen, I have given you the third step. For 6 months, 3 times. And the situation doesn't improve, turn around, big bye, wish him or her a great life, and most importantly, सब सीख गए आपको, सीखने की जरूरत ही नहीं.
Swamiji, the next question is very much connected. What is ego? Please elaborate on it.
Sorry?
What is ego? Please.
Ego in one line is, you always feel that I am superior. But now listen this one sentence. All of us have an experience that every third person besides us is in some way superior to us. Maybe in looks, maybe in intelligence, maybe in academics, maybe in worth, maybe in business, maybe in social connectivity. Every third person sitting besides us is in some way more superior to us. In some way. In some way you will be. Do you accept this? Just raise your hands if you say yes. All of you accept this. That every third person besides you is in some way superior to you. In some way. Isn't it? Keeping this fact in your conscious mind 24/7, 365/80, you will become humble. या मैं जो बात की बोस्ट कर रहा हूं, मेरे से तीसरा व्यक्ति इसमें सुपीरियर है. And second thing, records are created to get broken. तो फिर क्या ईगो रखने का कि मैंने ये किया तो अगली पीढ़ी इससे कुछ ज्यादा अच्छा करने ही वाली है. Day before yesterday, our wicketkeeper Rishabh Pant broke 17-year-old record of the wicketkeeper Mahendra Singh Dhoni of the fastest century by a wicketkeeper in a test match. 17-year-old Mahendra Singh Dhoni's record was broken day before yesterday. When Gavaskar played, all the records of Gary Soberts were broken. Even 29 centuries of Donald Bradman was broken. When Sachin came, all the records of Gavaskar he broke. Now when Virat Kohli is in, he is like almost 70-80% has broken all records of Sachin. तो कहां ईगो रखा किसी का? और सबसे अच्छा विजिटिंग प्लेस कहां है पता है ईगो तोड़ने के लिए? The big barren palaces of Rajasthan. Or any place of this world. कि यहां एक वक्त राजा हुआ करते थे, बड़ी सत्ता उनकी हुआ करती थी, बड़ी पावर थी उनके पास, मिलिट्री थे. आज खंडेर है, तो आपका और मेरा क्या रहने वाला है? And you know, after we pass out, there will only be a photograph in the hanged on the wall, framed, and that too till the time only when there are people in the family who have seen you physically. The next generation after that, ये interiors में जरा ठीक नहीं लग रहा है, उतार दो इसको. अरे तेरे बाप ने ये बनाया था प्रोग्राम, तुझे तो इनहेरिटेंस में मिला है, ये तेरे बाप ने बनाया, लेकिन इंटीरियर्स में ठीक नहीं लग रहा है, उतार दो उसको, अंदर कमरे में रख दो. होता है कि नहीं? उतार देते हैं. तो कहने की बात है ईगो रखने की कोई जरूरत नहीं. ईगो आप रख सकते हो और आपको इजाजत है. यू हैव द राइट टू कीप ईगो इन ओनली वन कंडीशन, एंड दैट कंडीशन इज इफ यू हैव गेन्ड विक्ट्री ओवर डेथ. वो तो है नहीं. देन वी डोंट हैव द राइट टू कीप ईगो. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Swamiji. Very interesting next question. How to strengthen our faith in God?
Yeah. To strengthen your faith in God, you have to do something practical. I was asked this question at IIM Bangalore after my talk in the open questionnaire by the faculty and the students together. I said, when you discuss science and when you practically use science, which you enjoy more? For example, discussing science theory and enjoying practical science like a refrigerator, practical science like an AC in a hot summer day, practical science like an automobile, practical science like a laptop, practical science like a mobile phone. So instead of discussing science, you may discuss if you are a scientist, but practical science, the products of it gives you more joy, comfort and happiness than discussions of science. In the same way, don't go into the deeper discussions of science and religion. Practically do it. I give you one example. University of Columbia. Those who were regular visitors to religious places had these benefits. You have to do something practical. Only then you will enjoy and strengthen, the word used is, strengthen your faith in God. Sitting back home just thinking of it. And you don't say, only if I see him someday, if he reveals me, then I'll start believing in him. See, The principle is, worldly things you first see and then believe. Heavenly things first believe and then see. The process is reversed. The formula is different. Formula is altogether different. How can you apply this formula of the worldly sense in the heavenly sense? Worldly is first see and then believe. Heavenly is first believe and then see. How many of you want to see God right now? जिनको भगवान देखने अभी, हाथ ऊंचा करें, इससे भी घबराते हो? तो ना कहो कि भाई नहीं हो सकता, नहीं देख सकते. मैंने प्रश्न पूछा है, देखना है किसी को. See, I tell you, do you see the sun every day? शास्त्र में सूर्यदेव लिखा है, चलो वो भूल जाओ, शास्त्र की बात नहीं मानते, क्योंकि सेक्युलर हो, इंटेलिजेंट हो, पढ़े लिखे हो, वो बात भूल जाओ. What is the characteristic of God? वो पहले जाना है. God, even if God wants to reveal himself to you, you should know the qualities, only then you will know him. Character of God is two things, power and love. See the power of sun. Is there any replacement to it? Tomorrow morning if the sun doesn't rise, let us start with a theory. जो हम राइडर्स पढ़ते थे ना 8-9 स्टैंडर्ड में, थियरम्स पढ़ते थे. सपोज A is not equal to B, at the end of the rider we prove A is equal to B. पढ़ते थे ना एल्जीब्रा में, ज्योमेट्री में. तो let us start the rider. Suppose sun doesn't rise tomorrow. Will all the scientists of NASA coming together, all the scientists of ISRO coming together, will all the scientists of the European Space Agency coming together can make the sun rise? Second alternate. If you burn everything that you can burn upon this earth, from cloth to oil, will the morning fall from the dark night? Morning will fall only when he rises from 9 crore miles from here. That is more than 14 crore kilometers from here. And just 2 rays on this earth, and he will illuminate the whole earth. Power! No alternate to it. Every second upon the surface of sun, I'm talking scientific or faith in God. Every second, every human second on the surface of earth, 60,000 crore tons of helium gets transformed into hydrogen. And that is why this heat, this light. Figure 60,000 crore tons. हर सेकंड में. ये मैं चालू किया सन की बात, उसमें कितना गैस कन्वर्ट हो गया वो तो हमारे कैलकुलेटर में नहीं, सुपर कंप्यूटर में भी नहीं आता है. तो इज नासा कंट्रोलिंग दैट रिएक्शन? Little children, are scientists controlling that reaction? Somebody is controlling. अगर समझ लो वहां 60,000 से कुछ 70,000 तक पहुंच गया तो यहाँ temperature will go to 55 and 60. None of your AC will work. Somebody is controlling the temperature. I was talking to 400 scientists at Tajland and Bandra like about 7-8 years back. The same question popped up. I asked them a very simple question. Earth is rotating at its definite speed, isn't it? From tomorrow it starts staggering again, suppose. Staggering चालू हुआ. तो कर क्या लेंगे आप मुझे ये बताइए. क्योंकि staggering चालू हुआ तो क्या होता है पता है? आज आपका दिन 20 घंटे का रहता है, रात 4 घंटे की रहती है. कल आपका दिन 1.5 घंटे का हो जाएगा, रात 22.5 घंटे की हो जाएगी. करेंगे क्या आप? खाएंगे कब? सोएंगे कब? और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट, पेमेंट कब करेंगे? एम्प्लॉइज को तनख्वाह कब देंगे? क्योंकि डेट ही जारी नहीं होती है. डेट कैसे सेट करेंगे आप? और परसों क्या होता है? 10 घंटे का दिन, 24 घंटे की रात. उसके बाद चौथे दिन क्या होता है? 18 घंटे की रात, 6 घंटे का दिन. स्टैगरिंग चालू हुआ है ना पृथ्वी का. तो सब साइंटिस्ट मिलके उसको स्क्रू और ड्राइवर लेके ठीक कर पाएंगे? ऐसी हजारें बातें हैं which you can challenge the scientist, and I openly challenge. There is no solution to it. You have to believe in the work of providence. By through science. नानक जी, मैंने बहुत सिंपल क्वेश्चन एक बार पूछा था साइंटिस्ट को, ऐसे ही कॉन्फ्रेंस में मैं स्पीकर था, तो कुछ ये प्रश्न हुआ. मैंने बोला ये ग्रेविटेशन का तो नाम आपने ग्रेविटेशन रखा है, द एनर्जी दैट पुल्स ऑल ऑफ अस एंड वी रिमेन ग्राउंडेड, नॉट इगोइस्टिकली, फिजिकली, एंड वी रिमेन ग्राउंडेड. ये ग्रेविटेशन पुल होता है ना, ये नामाभिकरण साइंटिस्ट ने किया है ग्रेविटेशन. ये फोर्स कहां से आता है किसी को नहीं पता है आज तक. फॉर मैंने साइंटिस्ट को सिंपल एग्जांपल दी, इफ आई कैच योर हैंड एंड पुल यू टुवर्ड्स मी, आई एम यूजिंग सम एनर्जी, यस और नो? आई एम यूजिंग सम एनर्जी, इजंट इट? द होल वर्ल्ड, ऑल द पॉपुलेशन अपॉन दिस अर्थ, humans, animals, they are pulled towards the earth, that is down. That means the energy use होती है. Yes or no? Science says yes. You say yes or no, tell me. तो use होती है तो refill कैसे होती है? Now nobody of you will have answer. No scientist has the answer to this. तो आपको कैसे होगा? अगर use होती है तो refill होनी चाहिए ना? वो refill कैसे होती है? ग्रेविटेशन, गुरुत्वाकर्षण रिफिल कैसे होता है? कौन करता है? एंड इफ यू से नो एनर्जी इज नॉट गेटिंग यूज, देन यू आर प्रूविंग साइंस रॉन्ग. एंटायर साइंस गोज रॉन्ग. डॉक्टर क्यों लागे? No scientist or a man of science so far has been able to explain gravitation, where it is coming from, how it is maintaining that pull, it is getting used or not. दो व्यक्ति पृथ्वी पे थे, जितना ग्रेविटेशन था दोनों ठीक चल पाते थे. आज 7 बिलियन है, सब ठीक चल पा रहे हैं. किसी ने ऐसा सुना कि और न्यूजीलैंड में वहां जाते हैं तो वहां तो ग्रेविटेशनल पुल बहुत ज्यादा है, 2 फीट अंदर चले जाते हैं ग्राउंड में. और ये बाजू जाते हैं लैटिन अमेरिका में तो वहां अमेज़न में ग्रेविटेशन कम है तो 2 फीट ऊपर उठते हैं. ऐसा कुछ सुना? Equal gravitational pull on the entire earth, wherever you go. Somebody is maintaining it. Never keep an egoistic attitude. I can prove you the presence of God. I can prove you the doings of God. Absolutely scientific. When you understand this, you convince your logical mind to have faith in God. And the last thing, to have faith, you need heart, not the mind. As simple as that. आपने जब शादी की थी तब माइंड का यूज किया था, हार्ट का? वेरी वेरी प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन. जब शादी की थी तब बुद्धि का उपयोग किया था या हृदय का? बोलिए, एक ही जवाब है आपके पास, हार्ट. किसी फ्रेंड ने बोला होगा यार ये ठीक आपकी वाइफ आपके साथ जमती नहीं है, हाइट में कम है, काली है, चश्मे वाली, जो कुछ भी बोला होगा, और रिवर्स भी बोला होगा किसी ने. अगर नहीं बोला हो तो किसी ने सोचा होगा. तो भी आपने क्या कहा? जो कुछ भी तू बोले, माई हार्ट हैज गॉन देयर, इजंट इट? तो एक स्पाउस के सिलेक्शन में भी आप माइंड यूज नहीं करते हो, हार्ट करते हो. ये बड़ा सिलेक्शन में भी हार्ट ही चाहिए, माइंड नहीं चाहिए. थैंक यू.
Super. If you are loving this side of his, he's very active on all social media platforms and I follow him. I would request everyone, आप लोग भी please, if you like this, you can do that.
Actually, let me clarify. None of our BAPS sayings are on any social media platforms. This is one of our norms. But naturally it happens that wherever I talk or we saints talk or have these sessions, it goes uploaded and then it goes viral on YouTube. We don't have any personal social media accounts.
Right. And I'm sure this is gonna go viral.
It's okay.
Sir, a very interesting question. I am sure a lot of teenagers will also relate to it. It's from Mr. Rajesh Doshi. How to train our mind to keep away from the rat race in the material world, especially when we have people around running the rat race for getting more money and fame out of everything.
First 25 years of your life, go for the rat race. You are here to have wonderful academics. You are here to give all pleasures to your family. You are here to have a good social connectivity. You are here to contribute to the society. This all you can do only you go for initial 25 years after your academics for a great rat race. You have to earn money. You have to make money. You have to position yourself in the society. You have to cement your place in circles in the society. But when you touch 50, फिर ये मत बोलना कि अभी हेल्थ तो 35 जैसी लगती है तो और 15 साल चला लूं क्या? ये क्वेश्चन अराइज होंगे. When you touch 50, then because you know 70-80 years, fight and plus minus with the grace of God. You have to be out of your rat race and absolutely focus on the contributing mode in life. So this is the answer to your question. Rat race से पहले से बाहर मतलब ये जो students बैठे हैं ना, ये मत सोचना कि यार ये सब बात थोड़ी आध्यात्मिक बातें हैं तो क्या जरा इंट्रोस्पेक्शन पहले 25 साल आफ्टर योर academics go full fledged. We want to make India $5 trillion economy by 2025 and the onus of that lies on your shoulders. આપણે તો બધા બુઢા જેવા થઈ ગયા નહીં ડોક્ટર કે નામ કહે છે the onus of that lies on the next generation. Nanik ji, am I right? So you have to go for it. Challenge yourself, challenge your competitors and show your class, show your caliber. But a stage comes when you have to start thinking the other way. The other way is being in the rat race. Even if you win, you are still a rat. Being in the rat race, even if you win the race, you are still a rat.
Right.
After 50, you don't want to be a rat. Start in the contributing mode. And that you have to exit the race somewhere. 3 days back, Mukesh Ambani handed over the reins of Jio to Akash at the age of 65. Everybody thinks of this. This is an enlightened mind decision. At the right time, you have to give the reins to the next generation. It is a must. Thank you.
Thank you. Swamiji, the next question is from Tejal Piyush Karya.
The last one, I think so now, because that session is like overtimed.
Okay, I think it's the second last. You mind if I take one more after
So I'll
this?
give one-line answers to both. Fine.
Okay, perfect. With today's
Because,
running life,
just casually, we are used to talking with clocks and calendars both. So like,
right. With today's running life, the TA
again.
Yeah. The next question is from Tejal Piyush Karya. It's on TAAC, TAC. With today's running life, the TAC formula is practiced less and less in the day-to-day life. Would you want to guide us with an easy formula to follow the TAC, leaving the ego aside?
Well, I feel that this is an easy formula. Whenever next I design a lesser one than this, I'll again make a session with you. But this is a reality and this is a fact of life. Tolerance, acceptance, apologies and compromise. This is how you live a peaceful life. As simple as that. The elders do agree with it or not? Absolutely. So this is the best formula.
Superb. And the last question, I'm sure a lot of youngsters here.
Because, sorry for interruption. Good batting doesn't mean that you connect with every ball. Good batting also defines in itself and includes in itself which ball to leave and let it go to the wicket keeper. That includes good batting. That is part of good batting. Judgment and decision. So you don't get out. Sometimes sticking at the crease is more important than scoring runs. You have to see a pace bowler off. કે આની સ્પેલ પૂરી થઈ જાય ને પછી રનિંગ રન્સ લેશો આને એકવાર સી ઓફ કરી દેવો પડશે કારણ કે ઇઝ ડેડલી તો that is more important in life. Chalo, last.
And Swamiji, the last question from Manav Mehta. I want to be part of the Century program, the Shatabdi Mahotsav. How can I do where can he find?
Yeah, you can open our website baps.org. This is our mother website. And on that, you will get all the details of the festival. You can also, how can I be a part of the festival? Like you can be a visitor, you can be a part in the contribution mode, you can be as a volunteer. All the details are on baps.org and you can just log in on it and get the details of it.
Thank you, Swamiji. A round of applause for him.